what you're testing at that moment is like, all right, maybe this suit's a little too much, right? So what could I put together that's super fly, but it's like right at that limit to where it's like, that's nice, but it's not too much. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't always want to look like you got on a church outfit.
Yeah, one thing that is so underrated, I think, in menswear and when it comes to dressing is you have to respect the occasion, because you can do the right thing at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Right. If you wear a tuxedo to a job interview, you look great, but like, bro, what are you doing? It's too much.
Yeah, you got the stripe on the side of the pants.
It's just like I appreciate the sentiment, but like that's not for this.
Yeah.
Right. There's a reason you have uniform. If I wore a football uniform at a basketball game, they're going to look at me a little crazy.
Right.
So for me, it's about understanding the occasion, respecting the occasion, knowing, okay, in what environments, what to do it. Like a perfect example, this interview, right? This podcast, I'm not in a suit.
Right.
You know, like these are things that you start thinking about. Okay, well, what's something that I can still dress up in, but it's not too much for this particular environment, right? Because if I'm in a suit, it'd be a little like, okay, he's kind of doing it. Like, dang, bro, like,
right.
I'm in a t-shirt, like,
yeah.
So these are things that I think people have to, well, at least for me, I give thought to, and this is part of the conversation I have with my clients.
Got you. So before we even get to the part of like who you've worked with, you're in college, you worked in men's luxury stores. When did it start getting to the point like before you had clients, but you were in the environment to get clients? Like that part where it's like you're ascending, but you're not really your own man yet.
I would say,
because I remember you worked at Suit Supply.
Yeah, exactly. I would say 2015.
Okay.
Is when it really started getting to the point to where people like, bro, can you, like, do you do, or you should, because people started recognizing the talent that I had. And especially, I mean, when you start doing a certain amount of sales, right, percentage wise for the store, and you start having clients that are coming, and if you're not there, they're just leaving.
Yeah.
Right. And even too, like, it started getting to the point to where I was doing management. So like they would basically fly me out to help open new stores and do sales training for other sales reps. And I would have people from my Instagram and other like literal states come into those stores because they saw I was there. And I'm like, dang. So like I'm in Boston and this dude like saw on Instagram in Boston, just like pulled up on me like, bro, I want to buy a suit from you. Oh, I'm in Orlando and this dude literally was like, yo, like, is Jay Hines here? Like, I'm like, oh, wow. Dang. So, like,
because they saw that you were in that store on
like,
Instagram.
Like I might put it on my story, like, just touched down in Orlando, help open the Orlando store. Yeah. And I would have clients there. And it's like, it would get to the point, too, to where, like, I'm going to these new stores where I don't have, like, my regular customer base, and I would still outsell everyone there for the month. Yeah. Right. So that's when I'm like, oh, shoot. And, you're having clients who are wanting to, to tap in with you. And that's when I really started realizing like, man, okay, this might be something that I really can potentially do on my own. You know what I mean? Or for myself. You just start feeling that way, especially when you start getting that response. Got you.
So who are some of your most like notable clients that, that you've worked with? Just so that people can.
So the most notable, I'll start here. Number one, Arthur Blank and the Arthur Blank Foundation. That was like, one. Bro, that was crazy. Because even the story with like how it happened, security coming in, like it's just different, man. It also just.
And they came to your workspace.
Yeah. I mean, and it's just crazy because it just shows you the difference in how they think. Will Packer was another one, which was.
Wait, let's go back to the Arthur Blank story. That's a big one. Yeah. So for people who don't know, Arthur Blank co-founded of Home Depot, owns the Falcons, Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Yeah, it was big. So the way that happened is literally before he comes in, he has his like this security guard like randomly come in, and he's like clearing the space, right? And the way I got that contact too is his assistant. So basically I'm going the appointment, everything through his assistant, but he comes in and security guard clears the space and is like clear, right? Yeah. And then this all black SUV just like pulls up, he comes out, and it's just interesting because, initially when he had first came in, right, because I was doing some stuff for his son as well, and he has this yacht book, right, and he's reading this yacht book, and the yacht book is maybe like 25 pages, but it's like this huge book. And he's just like sits, crosses his leg, and is basically just like flipping through the book, right? And the assistant comes to me and he says, hey, look, so we need to make sure that by the time he's done with this book, we have everything wrapped up. So I'm like, oh, wow. So the time is different.
Yeah.
Right? And then again, it
so
kind of,
when they say by the time he's done with the book, he comes in for the consultation client meeting. Is he reading the book?
Yeah. So he's reading the book because like at this one, I'm just helping his son.
Oh,
I'm helping his son get some stuff. And he basically they were like, yeah, by the time he's done with this book, like we need to be finished up.
Yeah.
So like that was crazy. The Will Packer was a blessing too. And the Will Packer story is crazy because
Will Packard. Let's know who he is.
Yeah.
The best black movies out.
Yeah, Think Like a Man, Girls Trip, all that, right? And
Frat.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So that story is crazy for two reasons. Number one, when I had first started working at my previous employer, I had actually met him and his wife. This is like when I first started working there, and I didn't realize it. And because at the time I didn't realize, but I gave them good service. And there was a period where like I didn't work there for 6 months because I was going into my senior year, and like the last 6 months I was like, I have to lock in, because you got to think, I would leave school Thursday night, drive 4.5 hours back into Atlanta, really Marietta, and then I will
use that far.
Yeah, because well, based on where I live, right? Because I got to go a little bit past Atlanta, so I would drive there. And then I would work 10-hour days, right? Like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then I would get back into GSU at like 11, almost 12 a.m. Have to do all my homework. And like, that was my schedule. So the last 6 months, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And when I had left, she had basically asked like, man, where did the guy that we worked with go? And I wasn't reminded until I actually was able to go to Will Packer's house. And his wife reminded me of it. And I'm like, oh, this is such a crazy full circle moment. And then the second thing, relationship wise, shout out to Veronica. But she also, another stylist I had a great relationship with, basically put me onto that place. So that was really amazing. I mean, you go into this man's house and he has like the embroidered, napkins with the big P on it. I'm just like, this is different. Like gate opens with the Packer, the little P. So, that was really cool. Another one recently too was probably Katino Mobley. That was really cool. Went out to LA, did some stuff with him.
How did he find out about you?
Instagram, man. Instagram, yeah, it was one of the videos I had posted, and he was just like, man, like where do you get this? I really like this fit. I was like, I made it. So we started communicating a DM, then that transferred into us exchanging contact information, and then again me starting to communicate as well with his assistant. Rose, shout out to Rose. She's amazing. So, it's been cool, man, just developing all these different relationships, both on, of course, you have the entertainment and businessman side, but also, you have the internet entrepreneur side, which has been going. You have a lot of other C-suite guys that may not necessarily be as known, but, are definitely movers and shakers. So it's just interesting to see how clothing can connect you with so many different types of people, man.
And then just to break down like your target audience. So like I had asked you like who's the main people, right? Yeah. And like what did you say? You said C-suite.
Yeah, I would say first probably C-suite executives, and then that devolves into probably like lawyers, attorneys, then to kind of internet entrepreneurs.
Is that a new field that's like growing fast, where you're seeing there a need for style with that?
Absolutely, because essentially you have a lot of people that are good with the back end, right, like the ads and understand the psychology, but now what they need to do to really, I feel like 10x, is understand the psychology of image, right, because the brain processes images 60,000 times faster than words, right? So you're utilizing the ads, but what happens now if you can have congruency between like the marketing, what you're showing, and also now how you look?
Right.
Because yes, you're converting, but now what does that conversion looks like when you up that congruency level?
Yeah.
So, that part's been really cool. And especially because, they're in the public eye a lot. You run an ad, a lot of people are seeing you. You want to make sure that you're on point.
Because they're not even like, okay, I'm thinking, I was looking at it different, but that makes so much sense because let's say, for instance, I'm an internet marketer. I help people run their ads, build their funnels. Well, they look at it like, man, let me just grab my phone. What's up, y'all? Join me this Thursday at my webinar.
Yeah.
But they're not noticing that you're showing yourself to millions of people.
Yeah. I mean, it's so much that goes behind it, man. And then even too, like for instance, like you have like your real estate people, right? So you might have a real estate agent who's selling $1 million home, but their outfit is not congruent with the home that they're selling.
Exactly. That's a big one.
So it's like little things like that where I'm able to come in and kind of give a few tweaks to now the puzzle pieces are fully fitting. Now, the thing I will say that's hard for some people is there is a disconnect sometime between the guys who have very high performance and then perception, right? So what I mean by that is the guys that perform at a very high level, they're saying to themselves like, well, bro, I already got a meal. I'm already making money. Like, who cares what I look like?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? And they tend to have a disdain for the people who have the perception side. Because they're just like, bro, they look good, but they're not doing nothing.
Yeah.
Then you have the guys that are on the perception side, which is looking at the guys with the performance like, man, they're just mad because they're not fresh. They don't look good. You know what I mean? They're just hating. You know what I mean? Yeah. And for me, it's like, well, no. Guys, what if you combine? What if you combine the performance with the perception? Because when you do that, that's when you see guys like a Beyonce, like a Diddy, like a Drake, because they're combining all of these elements of talent, right? Performance and the look. Right. And that's the thing that I'm really big on, and even if you make a sports analogy, it's like, imagine if Jordan was like, look, I'm athletic. I don't need to develop my, my post game. I don't need to develop my mid range. I'm just going to kill him on the athleticism.
Right.
Yeah.
That was
good. I'm good with 20, 30 a night. Yeah. But now you become Gerald Green.
You don't get the Kobe 81 night.
Yeah, and even better, again, because with internet entrepreneurs, they might be like, well, bro, I'm already dropping 30 a night.
Yeah.
How you gonna tell me that I need to do better?
Yeah.
And again, my conversation to them is like, yeah, you're dropping 30 a night, but on how many shots?
Yeah.
Because right now you're having to take 30. What if you only had to take 15?
Right.
That's what the marriage of performance and perception now does, because now you have that congruency.